Welcome everybody back to Boost in Motion, guys, and today we're doing a burger tuning heat exchanger install on my 2018 Q50. But also remember, this also applies to the Q50 Luxe, Premium, Red Sport, pretty much all of the VR30 motors, also for the Q60 too. So let's get into the video. Wait, hold on. If you made it to this part of the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, hit the like button right now because I put a lot of videos out for the Q50 Q60 community, and I also show love to the local Nissan and Infiniti enthusiasts. But let's get into the video. Alright guys, the first thing I want you guys to do is remove all these tabs. Just use a regular flathead and remove all of them. This one, all of these ones here at the bottom and over the screen. Okay, so get started now. Just remove these. So for the internet, you can make everything goes faster. So let me just speed up past this part. Now once you guys have removed this, all the plastic tips, put it to the side. Now the next thing I want you guys to do is go into these corners over here. There's gonna be, you see that little let me see if I can get this video a little better. See that little 10mm bolt right here? 10mm bolt, use an extension and just remove that one, and there'll be one right here too on that side. Remove that, and then we're going to move to the two 10mm bolts on this side and that side. So do that right now. I'm gonna speed it up. All right guys, the next thing we want to do is remove this one clip, and we're gonna push the splash guard out the way because we need to access a 10mm bolt up here. So out, move it, lever, boom. My wheel needs to be turned all the way to the right or the left. So after struggling with that for about 10 seconds because I can't hold the camera at the same time, you move everything out the way, and let me see if I can get the auto brightness to come back. And there's a 10mm bolt up here right under my black hand right there. Get rid of that one and do it on the other side. For the video's sake, I'm going to speed up past this part because it's the internet. And finally guys, if you guys been following me for quite a while, this is one of my greatest tools, my Husky, and it finally gave out today on a freaking 10mm bolt. And it could do this too, so hopefully I can get another one, but I had this for years. But now I gotta go to the 1/2 inch. But once again, you can use a 1/2 inch or a 3/8 drive. I'm just using a quick extension so I can just get it up in there a little easier, and a swivel because it's kind of off angle with the 10mm. All right guys, so now that we removed all the one bolt and clip from here, the one bolt and clip from here, and all of these clips, and then also the 10 from in here and the 10 from in here, you can see that now the bumper can start pulling out. There's only one more thing we got to remove, and it's the ones down here. Oh, it's gonna be hard to get this to autofocus a little brighter, but there's gonna be little bolts like these. But this might just be for this, but you definitely have to take off these bolts too, because these are connected to the underbody plastic, so because it'll come off of the bumper. So take all of these off. That goes straight down this line. I'm not too positive about this one, but this one might not be connected, but I'm still going to take it off and do it on both sides. I'm not going to really show it on video because it's simple guys. Just use a regular star head, Phillips head, or you can use a regular 10mm for these two, 10mm. Let me just fast forward to the next part. Alright guys, so now that you got all the clips removed from the bottom, you got the clips removed to the top, shout out to Spartan. He pretty much said everything else should just clip in, and the only thing that should be left is the fog lights that are on the insert. So he said it would just clip right up. It'll just come off the clips. Pull this way and then out. Okay, it looked like it's supposed to push down. There you go. Okay, so I pretty much pushed it down. There's a clip that this slides into it. two harnesses there. One went to the light over there, so that might have been for the light, for the glow up light. But on this side looks like just one harness and the fog light. But let me just drop this off, and we should start off next with the carbon fiber. The harness stuff should be really easy, guys. Just unclip it or unzip tie it, okay? All right, guys, so let's move on to the next part of the video. All right, guys, so there's 4 bolts to take off your crash bar. You can do this without the crash bar, but there's 4 bolts on this side. 2 on the right, 2 on the left, and then 2 on this right, 2 on the left. That's what it seems like. So let me take them off. I'm not gonna do it on video for you guys because I don't want to fill up my memory card. I don't think you guys don't want to watch me work on the car. So comment below and hit the like button if you want me to actually record myself and hyperloop it. All right, let's move on to the next part. All right, guys, so once you got those 8 bolts removed, remember that's a 12mm bolts, okay? 12mm nuts and bolts, okay? Pull it off. This is the crash bar. Pull it off, put it to the side. Don't lose those 8 stuff. Put it to the side somewhere out of the way. Next, we're gonna get to this. Now, before, matter of fact, I'm gonna say it in this video. I have a 2018 Luxe with a Silver Sport package, which means I have the Silver Sport bumper and I have the sport seats. Now, when you have the digital dynamic suspension, you also get the adjustable suspension. You also get the BBK and the paddle shifters. But also on top of that, you'll get an oil cooler that would sit down here. Unfortunately, my car is not blessed because it's basically a Luxe with a front bumper and a sport bumper and a sport seats, okay? So guys, remember that. And also, you won't be able to run the BMS heat exchanger with the stock heat exchanger if you have the oil cooler down there. Reason being is the oil cooler needs a space, so you would only be able to usually run one OEM or aftermarket intercooler, heat exchanger, and you'll put the oil cooler separately up here based on the kit. There's other ways of somehow finagling it, like getting the AMS ones, but for specifically this one and what I'm trying to do, I won't be able to. No, I will be able to run both of these, but you guys won't be able to run both of them if you have an oil cooler. All right, let's move on to the next part of the video. All right, guys, so pardon the background noise. All right, guys, so I want to sum up what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the BMS heat exchanger, right? You see those 2 brackets right there? With the supply bolts that they gave right there, not the worm clamps. You have to buy the 3/4 of an inch worm clamps on your own. Those 2 brackets bolt up to here. They'll give you nuts and bolts, okay? 2, I'm going to remove the zip tie, and then also they give you once again a nut and bolt to connect this bracket. Now, because I'm running both of them, I want to run both in series with each other. I got 3/4 hose, coolant hose, and I'm gonna explain a little later what I'm gonna do. But the way that this system flows is actually pretty backwards. Okay, guys, it is literally backwards. So, what happens is the coolant comes from the other end of the driver's side heat exchanger, comes down, and it comes into the water pump. The water pump now pushes the coolant this way, this direction, from the bottom. I don't know why they do that, but it pushes it up, through, and it comes down, and it goes down, and it goes with gravity, and then it pushes back up, and it comes out right here, and goes back into the heat exchangers, and it splits into 2. I don't know why Infiniti did it that way, but that's what they did. What I'm gonna do is, you see that there's this hose, right? This is on the outlet of the heat exchanger. It's actually 2 pieces with these 2 clamps. You remove these 2 clamps, of course, and I'm not gonna reuse these at all, period. I'm not reusing this at all. So what I'm gonna actually do is take the 3/4 hose, connect it here, because it's the outlet, and it's gonna, this new hose is gonna spiral, go all the way across, and then catch onto the BMS heat exchanger right there. Then that outlet right here is going to connect to this part. So the only thing I'm really removing here is this 1 clamp hose and putting in about, I'll measure it out to find the right one, but you don't want this to bind to connect to the heat exchanger. So otherwise than that, guys, I'm going to start off by clipping this off. I'm not going to really catch everything on video. Just be careful when you're popping this off to just try to cut it, or don't try to cut into the water hose. And then I'm going to use 2 clamps. I'm going to use a clamp for down here so the coolant won't flow all over the place right here, because that's what I want to catch. And then I'm going to use a hose, a clamp right here because I don't want the coolant all over the place. I'm gonna try to unbolt it from right here too. There's a clip here and a 10 to 12 millimeter bolt here, and then I'm gonna loosen or remove this one too because I want this to be more on a slant so that the coolant won't come all the way out the heat exchanger, if you guys know what I mean. So let me begin. Alright guys, so this gives you kind of an idea what I'm doing. I'm clamping here so that I don't want a bunch of mess. So if you guys bio-friendly guys, I don't want a bunch of coolant everywhere. 2, I'm clamping here because I don't want any coolant to pretty much drip out the system and coming out this way. So I'm trying to keep the less likely of bubbles happening, and I'm removing this hose from here and I'm removing this hose. This hose is from each other, so this is going to stay clamped. I honestly don't need to clamp this one too much, but this is why I have it off angled, because I want the coolant to still be more still in and not coming out. And pretty much I'm gonna have to unclip the zip tie. Those bolts are 10 millimeter bolts. There's gonna be one 10 millimeter here and 2 10 millimeters here. So let me go to the next part of removing these clips, and let's see how that goes. All right guys, so I messed up. All right, so I did what I did. I stuffed this in here so no more coolant can come out, because remember, it's on an angle. That's the good part. I use vice grips because I'm like, all right, I'll just vice grip it like this regularly and I'll be good. But no, I forgot that the vice grips, when they close like this, so it's not all the way closed. So I had to get a metal plate and then use the vice grips, and then that stopped the flow. Then I connected it there. I lost a lot of coolant because remember, the coolant's coming back down. Or not too much, but I lost enough coolant. And now I'm gonna fill this to the top. This is connected, and I'm gonna try my best to put as much coolant in here. I use zip ties so nothing can fall, but I'm gonna loosen this and start filling this up because it's already held in place. Also, you guys could have just bolted it up here, but I don't want to bolt it up yet because I want to be able to still pull it away from the car and move around and get all the bubbles out, because I lost a lot of coolant. Let me take a look at the reservoir. The reservoir looks freaking empty too. Oh man. I'm gonna fill it up right now. Hopefully there's not too much airway in the system, but let me get to that part next. But also, after I fill this up, whoosh it around and gets it to almost to the top, then I'm going to connect that hose with the worm clamps, and I'm going to connect the hose to this part here, then continue to fill in and siphon up the hose to the point that's full, and then connect it here because I don't want the hose to have any bubbles in it either. You get what I'm saying, guys? I'm trying to move as much air as possible through this system. I know you guys are going to say use the air bleeder system, whatever, but I'm trying to do my best without having to do all of that. All right, let's go to the next part of the video. All right guys, this is where I am at now. I filled up the heat exchanger to the top as high as I can, and then I connected the hose, and then I filled up the hose to the top. Now what I'm going to do is connect this hose to that end, and then I'm going to have to unclamp that. I should unclamp that now, but the reason why I don't want to unclamp this now is because I feel like the coolant is going to come in and it's going to just push this right out. So we're going to try to burp the system probably later and see if we get it out. Shout out to Kadro for what he's going to tell me. I'm going to give it a shot and see if that works, but as of right now, I'm going to connect that in to that end, and we're going to see how that turns. All right, success. Clip this back in, push that back in, put this back in. I'm still going to put the worm clamps, but what I'm going to do next is I took off the zip tie for here, and I'm going to start pretty much bolting everything up, or just putting it together. I'm going to try to bolt in the top first so it could actually be hanging, and then from there it's just the reverse, bolting the end, so I at least have a spectrum of how it looks. Right now this is not bolting in, so I get to move this up and down. But yeah, let me just start bolting everything back up with the supplied bolts. They give these extra brackets for the oil cooler, but I don't have the oil cooler, so I don't have those issues. I'll just use the bolts they have, and they look like they're hex nuts. All right, that's fine. So let me just get to that. I'm not going to show it. It's pretty simple, guys. You put the bolt through there, and you put the washer and bolt nut to the back there and you screw it on. Same thing here and same thing here. Okay guys, I'm not going to show the video. It's very simple. If you got this far, you shouldn't be needing me for me to explain you that much. But once again, yeah, you got to use Allen key set here for this, and I don't know why they didn't put an Allen key in here, but hey, I already got an Allen key set. So let me get to that part. I'm running out of light here. Alright guys, so now I'm gonna do the test. I have this clamped on, this clamped on, this clamped on. I didn't touch anything else. What I'm gonna do now is start the car, let the car warm up, and see if this coolant goes down. And as Cadro said, you can also bleed the system from here, but I don't want to spill any more coolant, so I just want to start the car and just get it to operating temperature. I may get a code for like the headlights and stuff, but we'll see. I didn't unplug anything else. Everything else is still plugged in. I didn't unplug the water pump. Water pump's still in, so let's start the car and let's see. I gotta let it get up to warming temperature. Alright, let the car run. And now I'm gonna let the car get to operating temperature, and then I'm gonna give it some revs and see if it comes down. So catch you in the next part. But right now I'm also gonna check and see if there's any coolant leaks. Everything may look a little weird to you guys because yeah, I'm really trying to get everything to fit within the same bracket, but it's gonna work out. I might have to move this heat exchanger a little bit higher, and so that it can clear this, because this part looks a little weird. So let me just fast forward to the next part of the video. Alright guys, so because I'm documenting everything, the car has come up to temperature. I don't see any leaks yet, and I revved it to 3,500 for about a minute, so it's still pretty good. But the problem that I'm having now is, how am I going to run this hose? You see how the hose comes over here? It's not going to really have no clearance issues over there with anything, which is a good part. Well, I may run into it with the ducts, I'll see that part, but this part is still pretty good, right, whatever the case might be. Now, the biggest issue I'm having is I'm going to have to zip tie this. I'm going to have to zip tie this to something, because it can't go back to the original position because of this part. If I try to push it over there, this will always hit here, and that's the issue I'm running into. So I'm going to take off this air shroud here, right, because I don't want to block any more air. This just comes out, and if I remove this, I think it still has the back plastic piece, so I'm just gonna remove this so I can get some more clearance. And I guess I'm gonna have to move it more this way, and I'm gonna have to zip tie it somewhere over here. I don't want this hose to be bumping against anything such as this, because it could, over time, it could rub and pretty much go bad, and I don't want it to leak later. And this part I'm not too worried about. Whatever the case, everything looks good down here. This part looks fine. Not too worried about this part. So I'm gonna zip tie these two together so that it can stay together, and I'm gonna zip tie this to that so that could be over here. So let me just fast forward to that part, and let's see what happens next. Alright guys, now this is where I am at. I use zip ties to hold it in place for now. This is zip tied to this looks like the hood opener. I'm gonna redo it a little better, some connections, but as of right now, it's zip tied to the hood opener, and right here I zip tied this hose to the heat exchanger. I'm gonna have to do a few more zip ties over here. I can zip tie right here through the bracket to zip tie that right in this place. This end can't really do too much. I don't really want this end to do too much moving, but it's plastic rubbing against the sensor of the, I think, condenser. So I don't really want nothing hitting this. I might put like some 3M tape or something there to prevent it from hitting, but otherwise than that, guys, I revved the car, I gave it revs. I'm gonna have to still drive it and look over the coolant reservoir, but as of right now, I'm doing pretty good. All in all, I think it's a quick, easy install, and as of right now, I'm gonna make it a little easier. I'm not gonna go through how to reinstall it. Just go do everything in reverse, put all the nuts and bolts separately to the side so that you guys don't get them all confused. Once again, if you don't work on cars, don't do this, okay? If you don't work with tools and stuff, don't do this. It's not for the easy, the hard. You have to be able to know your mind and be able to react and react fast. So yeah guys, it was really good. I really did enjoy the install. I do like how it looks as of now, but let me just reinstall it. But I just want to put it in close at this complete moment. If you made it to this part of the video, please hit the like button. Please comment below. Even if you comment and just write a letter or a number, please, because it helps me grow this channel. If they see 1,000 people watch this video and 1,000 people like it and 1,000 people just press a simple button and press enter, they literally push my videos to the top. And I want to be able to help the Infiniti world grow and just do so much greater things. But just a regular guy like you guys, I have my regular 9 to 5. If I help you guys out so much, please hit that subscribe button, that bell notification. I appreciate all you guys so much. You guys have an amazing, beautiful day. Now let's just cut to the forward. Alright guys, so if you made it to this part of the video, please guys, hit that like button. But what I gotta tell you guys is, some of you would ask me, why am I running this in series or circuit with the OEM heat exchanger, and what are some of the drawbacks? And should you even do this? Number one, the reason why I did this in a series or circuit, reason being is, it's hard for just the burger tuning or even frozen boost or these smaller heat exchangers to compete with a large capacity, high surface area AMS heat exchanger, right? So these heat exchangers are usually one pass, where the coolant goes in one end and it comes out the other end, right? That's it. And it tries to get all the amount of thermal capacity where it diminishes all the heat as quickly as it can go across the surface area, right? But with the stock heat exchanger, because it's so small, one, you usually have a bit of an issue because it could slow down the cooling flow because the heat exchanger is so small. And number two, it doesn't have much surface area. Now, when you keep the stock one and then you run another hose to the larger heat exchanger, or vice versa, whichever way you want to do it, you allow it to have another pass of cooling with the larger heat exchanger, right? So technically, I have a 2-pass system, which pretty much has been working pretty great. Now, the drawback I do have of it is, like I said, I would assume that because the heat exchanger is small, the top one, it could maybe slow down some of the flow. And also because I do not have a red sport. If you don't have a red sport, guys, you have one a water pump for the heat exchangers. Red sports have 2. So that also puts more of a strain on the system itself, because you only have one coolant pump pushing the amount of coolant around rather than 2. It's just like a push-pull system on the red sport. So that's kind of their benefit. But all in all, I don't really necessarily take this too much as a drawback, because I increased the amount of fluid the system has on top of the stock heat exchanger. On top of that, I made it two-way pass, a 2-pass. So I would like to recommend this if you're the type of guy who like to do this type of stuff, or if you really want. I mean, it wouldn't make sense for you guys, because so I know someone's gonna ask me, should you run burger tuning with like a frozen boost, or frozen boost with another type of heat exchanger, or whatever the case might be? At that point, guys, you're spending the amount of money. Just get the, the larger, best one from that company. But all in all, guys, I would recommend, if you want to keep the stock, just do it the way Burger Tuning does it, because it just makes it more easier for simplicity's sake. They made the system so much more easy that you literally you only have to unclip 2 clips, and then you unclip the larger hose that goes to the outlet of the stock heat exchanger onto the bottom, and then the one that goes into the stock heat exchanger on the top of the Burger Tuning. And you don't have to buy the worm clips, but I still choose to buy those as an added benefit. So all in all, guys, I have to say the product is great. Once again, to your red sport owners, you may have issues installing this, or silver sport people who have the oil coolers, you may have run into issues because they have to supply certain brackets to move the oil cooler to the top above the Burger Tuning, and they would give you additional hoses. So that would cause a bit of more of an issue if you wanted to try rock an OEM with aftermarket. But like the luxe guys or the premium guys who only have the one water pump that don't have an oil cooler, we don't have those issues. We don't really have those issues. We're kind of good. We're kind of good. But all in all, guys, if you made this part of the video, I want to say I love you guys, man. And I love all my viewers. I love the people who watch it. Even I know somehow, some way out there, I'm helping you guys just be a little bit more comfortable in working with your cars. I don't want you guys to make any mistake. I know someone's going to also comment below and say, hey, you didn't bleed the system. You didn't bleed the system. I try my best to not lose as much coolant as possible. I try my best not to lose not much coolant at all. And I also still topped it off. And I've been driving the car, and it really hasn't went down on the coolant. Like, I literally added maybe like a quarter cup after that, and I did at least 400 miles already. So all in all, guys, yeah, it was a good install. It was a great install, and we got a lot more to do. So this is boostinmotion. I want to say from the deepest part of my heart, thank you so much, guys. I made it to 5,000 subscribers, and it feels great. Thank you, guys. You have a good morning, good afternoon, good night, and good evening. You can contact me at boostinmotion on Facebook and Instagram. You guys have an amazing, beautiful day, morning, and afternoon, and night. Thank you.